We have breaking Seattle Seahawks news. Geno Smith has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's right, guys. The Geno Smith era in Seattle has officially come to an end, as reported by Adam Schefter, Diana Rossini, and pretty much everybody else in the NFL world. I've got my phone right here. Breaking news as it is. Literally as it is. It's a third-round pick the Seahawks are going to get in return. This is Seahawks Now. This is what we live for, guys. Breaking news like this. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Levi. Pete Carroll actually did it. We talked about it. We said, could this be a possibility? We asked that question, and I think we all kind of came to the determination that no, this probably wasn't going to happen. And yet, here it is. It is happening. Guys, Geno Smith is not a Seattle Seahawk anymore. Like, what? Like, a week ago, not even a week ago, Mike McDonald said that we need to put the Geno Smith talk to bed. Not even a week ago, Mike McDonald said Geno's our guy. John Schneider said Geno's our guy. Everybody said Geno is our guy. They said we wanted to extend him. They literally had a meeting with him a week ago about trying to extend him. And unlike DK, who obviously, we've been hearing DK rumors for so long at this point, it was pretty clear that eventually he was going to be traded. This is not that at all, right? I mean, we had no idea that Geno was on the trade block. There's a few rumors here and there, but really not much. So this is crazy. This is crazy. Geno Smith, 5 years in Seattle, 2 as the backup to Russell Wilson, 3 as the starter, 1 playoff appearance. He lost to the 49ers. He went 1-2 as the backup for Russell Wilson. And then from there, he went 9-8, and then he went 8-7, and then he went 10-7. So he totaled 28 wins. And he totaled 24 losses. Am I right about that? 28-24 was Geno Smith's record as a Seahawk. So, yeah, 28-24, not bad. He had a winning record as a Seahawk and 3 years as a starter. He made the playoffs once. Never had a full season of a losing season. He made multiple Pro Bowls. He was a good player. He kept us afloat. And, he kind of, we thought that we were going into a rebuild when he took over as quarterback. And he ended up leading us to the playoffs. So, yeah, I think he had a successful run here. But what is next, guys? Instant reaction. My instant reaction is that I am excited about what this means for the future. Don't get me wrong. I love Geno Smith. I think he's a great guy. And I think that, I think he could have had success in Seattle if he stuck around. But we're moving off of the 35-year-old, and we're going to get younger at the position. Rumors are already flying, and we'll get way more into those in future videos. Rumors are already flying about Sam Darnold. It sounds like the Seahawks might be in on Sam Darnold. But thinking about this, we're going to end up probably getting a second-round pick back for DK and a third-round pick for Geno. That helps us out in the draft a lot. Plus, we have our first-round pick. Could we be gearing up to try to make a push to get into the top 10 and draft a quarterback this year? I don't know. I've been banging the drum for Jackson Dart for a while now. That could be a realistic possibility. But I'm also hearing that Sam Darnold could be definitely on the Seahawks' radar. He becomes a free agent next week. And the Vikings are apparently going to offer him a multi-year offer, and I think the Seahawks might also come in and give Sam Darnold an offer. So people are saying on Twitter, they're saying, oh, it's a full rebuild. I'm not sure if that's the case. I think if we get Darnold, it's not a full rebuild. And I understand Darnold will be starting without DK Metcalf and without Tyler Lockett, but he would still have JSN, he would still have Kenneth Walker, and he would still have a lot of solid pieces on the defense. So it's hard for me to sit here and say right now that it's a full rebuild until we know who's going to replace DK and who's going to replace Geno. Now, if they end up replacing Geno with a rookie in the draft or with Sam Howell, then yes, it is a rebuild. And as far as Sam Howell goes, Sam Howell could be the guy next year. He could. And I did say this kind of as a joke last year. The Commanders, they got Jaden Daniels, and they turned their entire franchise around. How'd they get Jaden Daniels? Well, they got the number 2 pick. How'd they get the number 2 pick? They played Sam Howell for an entire season as their starting quarterback. So perhaps the Seahawks, if you really want to, you could play Sam Howell next year and truly tank the season. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that as a fan. They've never done that since I've been alive. They've never done that. Would John Schneider want to do that? Would the team ownership be willing to let John Schneider do that? Would Mike Macdonald want to do that? And would he feel comfortable with his job security if they did that? Because if I'm Mike Macdonald, I'm only agreeing to draft a rookie or to play Sam Howell. I'm only agreeing to that if I have a guarantee that no matter what happens, I still have a job. And I think that does happen sometimes. Coaches will come into situations where it's a rebuild and it's like, we are giving you 3 years. And if that's the sort of thing where it's like, hey, Mike, here's our 3-year plan. Next year is Sam Howell. Then we're going to draft the best quarterback available for 26 and then 27. And if you don't, we'll give you until 2027 no matter what happens because we understand this is a rebuild. So maybe that is what's going on here. I don't know. It's really, obviously we cannot know what's going on here. But instant reaction, I think a 3rd round pick is about what Geno is worth. And remember, the Raiders were bad last year. So this is a high 3rd round pick. This is like the 70th, somewhere around 68 to 70 range. So this is a decent pick. This is not a, this is very much in the top 100. Like, yeah, this is a good pick. And I don't think you get much more for a guy with 1 year left on his contract. So I think we're going to get worse next year, probably. And I think as fans, we have to be okay with that. Because, we don't have a quarterback. We're not going to have DK Metcalf. We're going to be a team that probably has a losing season. And I think as Seahawks fans, we're going to just have to accept that. Unless you bring in Sam Darnold and or maybe Aaron Rodgers. I don't think so. Russell Wilson, clearly, maybe he could. I guess Russ could be a possibility. I don't know really what his market is because I've heard that the Steelers are interested in Justin Fields. So, this is wild. This is wild. Wild stuff. I did not wake up this morning thinking this was going to happen, to be honest with you guys. Man, Geno Smith is not a Seahawk. It's still, I don't know if it's hit me yet. But I think we're going to have to understand that chances are we're probably going to get worse next year. But that if we trust the process, we will get better. And hopefully we'll get better quickly. Geno, I don't think he was the problem in Seattle. I want to state that very clearly. I do not think he was the problem in Seattle. But I don't think he was the solution either. Because when the team needed him to elevate, it always felt like he wasn't able to take that final step. When the team needed him to elevate. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We need to elevate, right? As a team, the Seahawks need to elevate. And sometimes in order to do that, you might need to go down to go up. It's like what Lightning McQueen says. You turn left to go right. Some teams, this has worked. Now, for some teams, it hasn't. And I'll tell you what, if it fails, John Schneider will lose his job. Like, if this thing goes poorly and we look back in 2 or 3 years and it's like, man, what were we doing when we traded Geno? John Schneider will not have a job. And so he's taking a big risk. He's taking a big risk. But he would rather, I think he understands what the way fans feel is that it's been about eight years or so of winning 9 or 10 games. Maybe you make the playoffs, maybe you don't. But chances are, if you do make the playoffs, you lose in the first round, and then it's, okay, we'll get him next year. I think John Schneider wants to do more. He wants to really elevate. Geno did not bring the team down. He was not the problem. There were problems. The O-line was a problem. The defense was a problem. At times, the running backs were a problem. At times, the offensive coordinators were problems. I don't think Geno was a problem. But he wasn't the solution to those problems. He couldn't elevate the team above the problems. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with getting rid of him. Even though, I do think we'd probably get worse next year. So Pete Carroll and Geno Smith reunited in Las Vegas, man. How do I feel about that? I mean, I guess I'll probably root for the Raiders next year. But I think, unfortunately, they're going to have a hard time coming because the Chiefs and the Chargers, it's just tough because Geno is pretty clearly the third best quarterback in that division. He's not on Herbert's level, and he's certainly not on Mahomes' level. And Pete Carroll is not on Andy Reid's level. I think Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, and Jim Harbaugh are all good coaches. I don't know who I would pick out of the three. Probably Pete Carroll, I would say, is the second best coach in that division, but there's an argument that now in his age, he has been surpassed by Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if I would agree with that, but I mean, think of it this way. All three of them have won, what? Jim Harbaugh hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but he's won a national championship game more recently. And Pete did win a Super Bowl, but his was in 2013. Sean Payton's was in 2010, so both of them won the Super Bowl a long time ago. And Peyton is the one who, just made the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. Pete got fired from Seattle a couple years ago. So the Raiders have the third best quarterback, and depending on how Bo Nix improves, could be the fourth. And they have the second, maybe third, maybe fourth best head coach. They're not going to win that division unless a lot of guys get hurt on other teams. So that could be a tough pill for Raider fans to swallow. I understand that. But that's kind of where they're at right now. It will be fun to watch them play. I do think Tyler Lockett will wind up in Las Vegas too, and we'll keep you guys updated on that. But this is Bombshell News, so if you don't want to miss any breaking news update, you gotta subscribe to the channel. You gotta hit the bell for notifications. I'm gonna have a video dropping tomorrow talking about all the implications of this. And then from here, guys, it is into draft season. And so we're gonna be really hammering quarterback prospects, wide receiver prospects, offensive line prospects, defense prospects, every position that you care about, we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking about Sam Darnold rumors. We're going to be talking about DK Metcalf rumors. We're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers could actually come to Seattle now. That's weird. I hope he doesn't, but he's an option. All guys, there is so much news. So if you don't want to miss any of it, then I want to see that subscribe button down below. And anyways, guys, let's talk Seahawks. Comment down below. Do you agree? What is your instant reaction? Are you happy? Are you mad? Are you sad? Are you in tears? Are you in shock? Let us know down below, guys. I want to see it. And as always, until next time, I know it's been a rough week, but until next time, go Seahawks.